I'll try to get enough of these out here. Looks like we need 6 there. I think I got 6 there. Okay, 6 here. Okay, pass those down, would you? Okay. Oops. 3. I think that's enough there, Don. Okay. I want to talk a little about this before we move on. Cribbage, logic, and psychology. Is there anybody here who plays Texas Hold'em? Okay. Well, you've already figured out that psychology is a lot bigger factor in poker than it is in cribbage. But there is a little psychology involved in cribbage. Most people that practice it aren't very good at it. For instance, my mother, who's 92 now, every time she said, "Oh shit," that meant she had 12 or 20 or something like that. She wanted you to believe she missed the cut. But if you knew when she made that expression, it was always when she had a barn burner. There's a guy up here that plays at Federal Way that says, "Give me a deuce." And you look at his hand and he's got 2 9s and 2 7s. What? Why would he want a deuce with 2 9s and 2 7s? It's just some kind of a screwy psychology. And he just says that all the time. And of course, once in a while, he turns over the deuce, gives him 3 deuces and a 9 for 20. Oh, I see why. But as a rule, it's like my mother saying, "Give me a deuce." In your club, if you're playing with the same group, you learn some of these little habits, how people react. Frankly, I don't think I'm much of a poker face. My brother is. My brother's a good poker player. The only time I'm a good poker player is playing video poker. I mean, I can't bluff the machine, can I? I don't have to. I don't act like, it doesn't make any difference if I act like a good hand or a bad hand. So you might want to think about what are some of the things you do that people might have got wise to, especially if you're playing with the same group over and over. What conversation? Talk is cheap. Frankly, I give away my hand sometimes when I shouldn't. I mean, I got a pat hand for 16, and I need 14 to win. And so I'll say to my opponent, "Can you peg 22? It's kind of smart, isn't it?
Smart what?
Well, what I've told him, this game is over, right? And so he's going to grab every peg he can. I might have won by 5 holes more if I'd have just kept my mouth shut. Now my brother Gary keeps his mouth shut. I don't know when I'm looking at him whether he's won them all or lost them all. He looks just as dismal to me in either case. So,
that's the truth.
Yeah. By the way, he's leading in North America. He has 304 points this season. I won the North American title in grassroots last year with 333. He's got 6 weeks to go. So, tough. Anyway, talk is cheap. Listen and you'll learn a lot. And I think, at least in my case, I'd be ahead if I said a lot less. Sneak and a peek. It is against the rules to look at the bottom card on the deck. People that play cribbage at home have been in the habit of cutting the cards and always looking, and then they look again when they turn the starter card. So Fortunately, most of these people are people that can't remember what they threw in the crib. So there's no chance that they can remember what the hell they got on 2 cuts. But for somebody who's bright, looking at the bottom of the deck twice, when turning the starter card and also before distributing the cards, gives them a hell of an advantage. And you shouldn't allow it. No. There's a penalty, but you need to call it. I say first you should warn the person. But if they do it again, especially if it's a new player, they're entitled to a warning or 2. But if they keep doing it, they need to be penalized because they have an unfair advantage by knowing 2 cards. And especially true in the pegging game. Especially true if they saw a deuce and a 4 on the 2 peaks, it might also tell them about what your hand might look like. There's less chance that you would put 3s to work. More chance you'd throw a 3 to the crib if I've seen a deuce and a 4. So don't let them take a peek. I want to mention the Sharpies because you've got them in your clubs and they're at every weekend tournament. Now, most people, quite a few people still hold their cards in order. Okay. Well, I can't have that many, can I? But I can have that many.
Well, even before they discard, watch where they discard from.
Now, that's a point there. He's already figured out something about my hand by where I pulled the cards out. He knows I pulled 1 card out that was bigger than this one. No, let's just say you play this one. I already know because of how you hold your cards that you've either got 2 cards smaller than this, or you have another 3 with 1 card smaller, and you only have 1 card bigger than a 3. Now, there are people making the rounds, and I can tell you they're highly ranked players. In the weekend tournaments, in the playoff round, they're looking for folks that hold their cards like this. If you play this one, I know it's the smallest card in your hand. If you play this one, I know it's the biggest. I know you don't have anything bigger than a 9. And that's a terrific advantage. So if you are putting your cards in order, and you're playing serious cribbage other than playing with a neighbor in the garage or the kitchen or what have you, understand that because it'll cost you a lot in tournament play. And we would like you folks who are visiting to come to our club some night on a Thursday. We play every Thursday, 6:30, and it will give you a chance to see the rules and check out your game and so on. But the best thing to do is just pick the cards up as they're dealt. Don't worry about the order of them.
If you have to put them in order to see them, to discard them, then shuffle them back up.
Yeah, you see some people do that. They'll put them together like this, and then they'll do this several times. Delay of game.